Oh my goodness, is it that time? Is it that time again? Is it time to go? Let's do this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is what day is today? Today is June 27th, 2024. We're going to write a little bit of code today. It's going to be a shorter stream today. I'm teaching the Let's Learn.net Aspire event from Microsoft a little bit later today. So we're only going to go for about 2 hours. I've got my alarm set, all ready to go here. How are you doing out there, chat room? Let me say hello to the chat. They're right over here. We're broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitch. Let me welcome in Surly Dev. Hello, hello. Blackstone's 1974. Good morning. C Sharp Titan. Good evening. Excuse me. Good evening to you in Australia. See, we're getting all this out. We're getting warmed up before the big stream a little bit later today. Dr. Cox, how you doing there? Enyo Phase, hello to you in the Philippines. Hope you're having a good evening. Space Shot, good morning. How's it going there? I've got my Twitch hat on today. No word back from YouTube yet on the application we submitted last time. So previously, we submitted an application to expand our YouTube our YouTube request capabilities, our request quota, so that some of the features that we're building now to allow folks to be able to hide users on TagsApp, right? TagsApp's the application we've been building that allows us to collect messages, collect viewer feedback from a bunch of different social media sites. So we asked for an expansion of our YouTube quota. Still waiting to hear back from them. So looking forward to hearing from them, to being able to expand that and reintroduce the YouTube feature, because the way that it runs right now, we can't get a live interaction polling data from YouTube. The quickest that we can pull data from YouTube is once every 30 seconds and be able to poll for data throughout an entire stream. So we're waiting on that, and then we'll be able to reintroduce the YouTube feature for at least TagsApp running for me and being able to connect out and work and show content from YouTube. So all of that in plans, in the work. Looking forward to that. I think we can dive back in. We were adding this ability to not just moderate and say hide these messages from these users, right? We've introduced this concept of blocked users already, so that for certain users, their messages are marked as blocked. They're blurred for moderators, so moderators don't have to look at it. They can click and remove the blur, and moderators can look at the message still if they're so inclined. But for some users, like bots, Stream Elements bot pops up every now and again. The Restream bot pops up. We want to completely hide those. These are bots. These are accounts that there's no reason to moderate them. They're never going to be considered for display using TagsApp. So we started adding this moderate capabilities flag into the blocked users, records. And we started adding the ability to specify whether somebody's just moderated as blocked or if they're completely hidden, with the idea that there may be other things that we do in the future, right? So we made it an enum instead of a boolean, because the enum gives us the ability to expand in the future. It also gives us a little bit of clarity as we're working through and interacting with that data. Our human eyes are able to recognize and discern exactly why we're making certain decisions to show or hide content. Hey, Manoj, hello. Good to see you. So let me get some music playing here in the background, and we'll head over and start taking a look at that. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Synthwave playlist today. Scroll down here a little bit. And let's start here. This is called Codename Indigo. This is music that's DMCA free. It's royalty free. Use it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com, not streambeats.net. If you go to streambeats.net, it's a for-pay service. It's not the same, folks. and you don't necessarily get all the same rights. Streambeats.com, and you can use this on Twitch, on YouTube, wherever you'd like. And there's some really groovy songs out there on playlists on Amazon Music, Apple Music, and Spotify, like I'm listening to here. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for making this music that we're listening to today. How you doing there, Nate? Good to see you. Welcome in. So, let's head back over to the code. I have a pull request started for this, and we can take a look here. Right there. Expand the blocked users feature to include a capabilities option. What capabilities are we blocking? Nalian.
Just resubscribed for 17 months.
17 months, bringing that Prime subscription. Thank you so much. And I'll make another donation to a tech charity. Still have to identify it. Crazy things are going on right now, and my schedule is a little nuts. Not gonna lie. Jeremy, good to see you. Hello. We recorded the Blazor Puzzle podcast yesterday. So Carl and I, you'll see that video come out on Friday after the editors get done editing. And I'm setting up the schedule for Carl to join us. It might be next week. It's probably going to be the week after to join us for a stream. And then Richard Campbell's going to join us, and then Scott Hanselman. We're waiting for some of them to get back into the local time zones here. So, all right, so we started on this for TagZap. Let me put that link into chat. If you're watching on YouTube, TagZap is linked in the description just below. So I'm going to say I'm going to put in here for the chat message, adding features to TagZap. And you know what? I could just link right to tagzap.net. Because I have that domain, and it routes through to the Google project. Tagzap.net. See, it comes back right around to there. Or maybe I broke the bot. Did I just break the bot there? Connection refused. That's fine. I'll link it right to the GitHub. Fine. There we go. Like that. There it is. And I'll pin the message from the bot until the end of stream. There we go. Google project. No, GitHub project. Sorry. My bad. A lot of things going on up here right now. Let me tell you. Okay. There was a build failure here. I didn't finish implementing the feature, so there's things that are broken that don't quite work properly, so we need to finish getting all the I's dotted, T's crossed here, and connected for this feature. Thank you. There we go. So let's just do a quick build and see exactly where those errors are in the build process. And we'll go through and start finishing that off. And then we'll come back through to the screens and add the checkbox. It's not going to be a checkbox. It's going to be a drop-down box of how exactly we want to block certain users. And like I said, the Restream bot is one, and Stream Elements bot is another one that we would want to be able to completely block. There's no reason to ever see their content. And then we're going to build more stuff. Web test, I'm okay with those breaking this. Here we go. So, block user. Yeah. Right, so block new user on the blocked users capability here. That needs to be expanded. Message details has a block user feature. And block new user on the blocked users page. So let's start with message details. So this is the page that you get to if you click into a message and say, show me more details, gives you the full text. You can click into any links that may have been provided, but there's also a block user button on this page. It's right here. It's a form block. Actually, I could put a drop down in there to let you choose how you'd want to block it. And we did do that. So we could say this, and hey, Copilot, add an enum for, add a select for the enum, right, it's, blocked user capabilities. I think I need to take this call. Give me 1 minute here. Okay. All right. Hang on. Yeah, I know. There's a couple things happening. This is so exciting, I'm sure. There we go. All right. It generated a select here for me. Add a select for this, so I can close that off. So now I get a select. It's going to bind to model blocked user capabilities. The model is a moderation content model. No. We probably want to bind this to a field somewhere. Everything is exciting. Well, thank you. But enum, get values, and then the capability. That's pretty good. So we should close out that select. What the heck are you doing there? No. Select. Right? We got a for each. We got an option. Yeah. Right? Because when I had that deleted. Yeah. No, it's a close a select. I don't think that's quite right. So if I bind that just to a value back here, right? Private, blocked user capabilities, let's just call this, well, heck, I can call it the same thing, can't I? Right? So instead of binding to model dot, I can just bind to that. Ah, there it goes. All right. So it knows what to do with that. So then I can go down here. I need to make sure that this is selected before it does a block. I can get rid of that option. Right? Because then the first item will be selected and you're kind of forced then to have something selected. Right, and I can default that value. So then here, right, the last argument that needs to go in is, and it's off screen, my bad. My bad. This and that and that. Let's put some carriage returns in here so you can see what's going on there. There you go. And, Yeah. So that takes care of that page. Cool. Take a look at the other errors. So blocked users, we were just on message details. So blocked users, this is where you're actually saying block this new user. Right, and we added, look at that. Look, we already added it to this one. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Right, and there it is there. Supplying it from the form. Right, we have to do supply from form because this is server-side rendered. This is not interactive. So we just need to pass into this block user call the same thing. Blocked user capabilities. Why didn't you complete that? There we go. Okay. Is that it? That was on 116. Yeah, I just added that. It's right there. So maybe we got it all done? I don't know. We'll take a look. Fantastic. So let's give it a try. And I think I saw Surly Dev. We're going to block Surly Dev. No, I'm kidding. We'll block the Restream bot. And here it comes. Feeling good. Okay. Well, that feels bad. It started app host, tried to start the DB context in the migration service. I know what this is. I believe I know what this is. Yep. Okay. This is something that I was running into. It's trying to pass in options. Yeah, and I need to remove the on configuring. I feel like there's a, if it's already configured, don't on configuring it again. You know? Like, I feel like there's a better way to do that that I stumble on. So come on. And starting up, there's the migration deal, right? Finished, it updated, didn't up, and it added, what did it do? It did something. I have no idea what, but it did something. And back over here, over to the website, there's the website, login. Yes, it's me, it's Jeff, hello. Having a hard time typing today. It's going to make it wonderful to teach later, let me tell you. Over to moderation. Ta-da! Okay. And refresh. There's Juan Van's message, so we know it's passing through the messages. I've still got this slow issue here with how it's doing the highlight. I feel like I should move that over completely to JavaScript and stop trying to do the back and forth with .NET. That's what's slowing it down. So if I go over to the blocked user screen, there you go, select a capability. Ta-da! I feel like here also we should probably... Where is it? This one. We should probably... I don't have a validation on this. So I should probably remove the option. Yes, it's even with WebAssembly. Yes. Uh-huh. It's a callback to the list on the server. I think so. I forget exactly what it's doing, but there's a loop back where it's calling into .NET. I don't even think it's calling onto the server. It's calling into .NET to do some formatting. We could probably push that to be completely JavaScript. Where it was before, actually. And so that only when you click on the buttons does it actually then trigger and do the .NET things to go and interact with. If I default this, I don't want to default this. I'm going to do something like that. And I want to put into, yeah, let's go here. Let's say blocked user capabilities. If it is null, then it's going to be moderated. Right? So we're setting a default because on the post back. Will JavaScript really help there? Yes, it will, because it won't be going through the WebAssembly stack to update the CSS and content on the page. So it's doing so much of it that it's hanging. It's taking a long time. So let's try and push that in. No, it didn't hot reload. Fine, we'll restart. So oh no. Okay. It's because I named the property. Let's call this let's call it something else. Just call it blocked capabilities. So then this becomes that. No. Because that works now. Yeah. Your first assumption was the pause triggering. The pause is in that process as well. Yep, I need to put the same common models in there. And it looks like it's in 2 other places. Yep, there's the one. Should be able to say then this dot. No. Yeah, this dot should work. Wait, is it telling me that it doesn't like... Oh, it doesn't like that it's nullable. So now, because it's a nullable, I need to do this and say, no. Blocked user capabilities dot. Oh boy. Moderate it. There was another one here on page. Nope, that's the one I got. No, that should work now. Hey, how you doing there, DJ Deepex? Hello. There we go. That works. Let's go fix it. Go rerun. And we should be in a better place. Oh, the coffee's feeling good today. Here we go. So many things I've got to get settled before this class that I'm teaching later. So, yep. Back into here. Moderation. Okay. Yeah. And if I jump into blocked users, so I've got a default value there. So if I were to reach in and say, you know what, first off, that should only have available the services that are currently used. So right here, hello. It knows this hat. It knows this hat. Come on now. Nope. It took the screenshot, but I'm getting errors coming back from something. I'm getting an object reference not set. One more time.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Moving on. So the list of providers, I do this at the top of the moderation screen. We can fix this while we're here as well. Where is it? I completely forget where the moderation page is. Is it up here? Oh no, it's in the client, isn't it? Because it's WebAssembly. Moderation, there it is. Moderators, blocked users, approval status, providers. Thanks. Where's that coming from? Get available providers method. Okay. Right, because this is running as WebAssembly, I need to reach over. So, hubs. So get available providers. It's hanging off of something else, and I forget what. And I don't see it here. All right. Is it on the moderation hub then? Get available providers. There we go. And that's on the messaging service. Fantastic. I can do that. I can do that. Oh my gosh, Fierce Kittens is here. Hello. How you doing, my friend? Why doesn't .NET have a YAML library? There's one maintained by the community. There is. It's out there. See? Right there. Look at that. Moderated the message. There it is. Ta-da. Right, so if you go NuGet, and I think it's YAML.net is what it's called. YAML.net. 197 million downloads. You have no problem trusting community. I don't know what to tell you then. I do use this one. I forget where it is that I'm using YAML. But, yeah. So, this, I mean, 197 million downloads. You can trust it. Not going to use it for a customer product? Well... yeah. It's pretty complex. It's not like there's a bit of code here you could lift and use. I don't have a good answer for you if you don't want to pull YAML.net in. That allow unsecured transport should be in your user profile is where I would put that. Are packages scanned for security vulnerabilities? Yes, they are. And you will see messages appear for packages that do have vulnerabilities in Visual Studio. In fact, you'll see them. But Dependabot, what UNESCO is referring to, right? That's a feature that runs on GitHub, and when Dependabot collects information about packages that have security vulnerabilities or that have updates, and it will make recommendations to you to update those packages. And you can configure Dependabot on GitHub to automatically, number one, automatically create pull requests. Number two, automatically commit those pull requests. Number three, send you notifications about that so you can decide what steps to take. So, YAML.net at 197 million downloads isn't... I wouldn't say that that's abandoned. It was last updated 11 days ago. It's even used by Kubernetes. So you can see they've been excuse me, they've been updating once a month, roughly, for years now. So I hear you about concerns regarding open source project not being maintained. TwitchLib was different. TwitchLib was very much a community thing that had no sponsorship, no dependencies from Twitch. No reason for that to be maintained. With this saying prefix reserved, that means that somebody at Microsoft has acknowledged and said, nobody else can take this. If we go to the project website, is this... I'm looking to see if it's in .NET Foundation. It's sponsored by AWS. It is not on the .NET Foundation. And YAML isn't a specification that's going to move. Unlike the Twitch API. The Twitch API moved, and the community of contributors that were maintaining the library, as Twitch not just moved the API, but specifically went after the features and programs and applications that the folks who built TwitchLib needed it for, and were maintaining TwitchLib in order to build and do those things. As Twitch started ingesting and building competing services, those folks had no reason to maintain it. So I hear you about being scarred by how TwitchLib was abandoned. A little bit different maintaining the API for interacting with Twitch versus adhering to the YAML standard. For the YAML standard that it references here, version 1.1, you're locked in, you're good, this works. If you have concerns about taking it as a dependency, put an interface in front of it, abstract it, so that you can swap it out later with whatever the next implementation is you need. So, definitely, and that's part of the reason why we all put interfaces in front of our interactions with Twitch, so that when Twitch changed the API, we could update and move to the next thing. So, where was I? Kanban is amazing. Enyophase, if you're enjoying Kanban, there's embedded Kanban available, project management in GitHub that you can use. Right, so if I go back over here, you can set up a project, right? Yes, do it. And you can set up a Kanban board in your GitHub. That said, I really like Trello. Really like Trello for managing Kanban boards, because particularly when you start needing to involve folks who are non-technical. Non-technical folks look at GitHub and they clam up. Ugh! Trello is a lot more friendly for the non-technical folks. You are using Trello. Awesome. C# Titan asks, does Visual Studio or VS Code tell you if you have any vulnerabilities? It does. Yes. If you have vulnerabilities, published vulnerabilities on the dependencies node here, there'll be a triangle that appears when you open your NuGet package manager user interface. There's a banner that'll appear in there. I don't know if you get errors when you build. Quite frankly, I keep up with it with those. So that's yeah, we're okay. So those are some of the things that you can find where it'll recommend. Trello is very awesome. And quite frankly, it's worth it.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
It's worth it to spend a couple bucks to support the Trello folks and give them and get a few extra features in Trello. Even if you don't use the extra features, it's worth it to give them a couple bucks a month just to show them your appreciation. Even though you can use most of Trello for free, no questions asked. Like, they won't block most of the stuff you want to do with it. Where was I? Oh yeah, we were back over here. I wanted to update the use this providers capability so that on the block users page, the providers there are the same. And it's on the iMessage service. So if I go back up here, yeah, I've already got access to it. So I should be able to say something like, providers equals the heck service. There we go. Providers, and I even had copied the exact. Right, I can do that. Right. So that's an IEnumerable of iSocial media providers. Sure, give me one of those, and I can make this available provider now. Why don't you like that? Because I'm asking for it as an array. I can do that. Okay. So, come on now. It's just name? Okay, sure. Save, restart. Let's take a look and see what it does. Deploy works. That's a big win, DJ. Always a big win to see that deploy go through. Here we go. What do you mean build failed? Can I convert iSocial media provider to available provider? I thought I put it. What? Oh, because I've got it in there now twice. Shoot. Do it again. Feels better on Azure, but now on your bare metal, I feel you earned that achievement. Totally. A buddy had a website a couple years ago, almost 10 years ago now, called Nerd Merit Badges. And they were, right, when you think back to when you're younger, right, you were a scout, you were a member, you could have been a member of an organization that gave you little merit badges, little embroidered circles, patches that you would sew on to your uniform that said, hey, look what I accomplished. I know camping. I know whatever. And I know my pioneering. I know my knots, how to tie knots, all the knots. I feel like in Nerd Merit Badges was that same type of concept where, and for us as nerds, as geeks, there's all kinds of things that we do for other people or that feel like an accomplishment, and we should have something that we can display on our laptop, on our messenger bag or laptop backpack, whatever, so that other nerds know, hey, I've achieved this. I can do this. And I think one of those is I was able to deploy to Cloud Service X. I was able to deploy to Azure. I was able to deploy to AWS. And I think you should get a gold border on that merit badge if you were able to do that deployment in less than 2 tries. 2 tries or less, and you get a gold border on that. You get the deploy to Azure merit badge because you deployed successfully to Azure. Fantastic. Congratulations. That's awesome stuff. But you get it with the blue border because it took you 5 deploys. If you were able to get it deployed in 2 or less, you get a gold border around there. Right? And there are these there are these badges that you can get on Stack Overflow and whatnot. But I think there's other things that these nerd achievements that we all go through and do, and it's like, yes, it built the first time. I was able to deploy and it runs great. I was able to write a Docker configuration the first time and it actually worked. 1 second. Deploy in one try should get a free badge tattoo sponsored by Azure. Deployed network the first time, and yeah, you should get a $20 Azure credit. Look at that! Squirrel badge, yes. So there's... Trying to keep an eye on a couple things here. Let me go over to the blocked users now. So now select a provider. There, now only the 3 that I have configured show up. So I'll go Twitch chat, and I'm going to say, where is it? Stream Elements. Stream Elements. And I'm going to change that to hidden. Blocked user. There we go. So we need to put the what's it called on the end here? We need to put the blocked capability on the grid. He's on the grid. So I'm going to add it in the middle here. Capabilities. See, it's even hard for us folks that even speak English to write it on there. And I'm using a table. Quick grid might be better. Blocked user. Capabilities. I probably could just say to string on that, right? You gonna hot reload it for me? You gonna give me that? No. All right, restart. Stand by. Here comes. Okay. And here. This. That. Alright. Blocked users and capabilities hidden. Okay. That's an ugly button. Not gonna lie. So now I need to actually enforce it. So when the moderation comes up, if it sees that user, right? So if it sees, so there it is, there's stream elements right here. So when it loads, if it sees that user and the capability is marked as hidden, I want it to remove that. Now, it should have done that in sending the information to this screen anyway, but it didn't. So let's go back and take a look at the code. So moderation hub, it's not getting filtered content. To the moderation content model. No, it does it for all. Would be a nice decoration on the beach. Yeah, have that pinned to your swimsuit. Guys have it pinned to their trunks. Ladies have it pinned up on Hey, gosh, I see you deployed to Azure too. That's great. Oh, and I see you have the C#. I know how to use pattern matching badge too. That's awesome. You do pattern matching with C#. Fantastic. And I see you've got the F# badge too. Cool. Oh. Where am I going? So the moderation screen goes and gets data. On initialize, configure signal or connection. Initialize content. Yes, please, go do that. Moderation content model is what we're trying to get. Get filtered content by tag. I was right. Get filtered content by tag. So we're going to go get data. And it should... What do we get here? Right? So I should be able to come back in here, take a look at the logs, and I should see that it's... Hey! That it's getting data. I'm going to refresh the screen, and it should stop right there. We got 100 results on 3 providers on 3 states. Okay? Let's take a look at the results. Because I can. There we go. Okay, lots of Twitch content to be expected. There's stream elements right there. Yeah. Okay, continuing across here. Yep, stream elements, stream elements, stream elements. Continuing, there's its profile picture. Right, it's there. Keep going. Moderation content model state. Pending. There's a thing in here where it's supposed to get the blocked users and decide not to show it. Did we break that? We might have broken it. Blocked user count. Yeah. Yeah. So it didn't go back and retroactively block it. Which kind of makes sense. So that's on the messaging service, which is something that we kind of need to expand and allow a little bit more of a pipeline interaction with. Common, where it's like iMessaging service. Yeah, this thing. Yeah. Go find it. I forget where it looks at the list of blocked users and decides, oh, block this person. Moderate this. Maybe I need to do it right here. Does this get a list of the blocked users? It's got the repository. Blocked user count. might be there under the scenes. No. It's right there. But I feel like the messaging service... I thought there was a new blocked... I thought I had like a new blocked user thing going on there. Right, like there was an event. Set status, current moderators. Yeah, new blocked user count. Where's that? It's in the iModeration client. New blocked user count. So that can be notified. And when somebody's blocked, it fires a message across it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's only applying for future posts at this point. It's not going to go back and remove, it's not going to reject messages previously for them. Maybe it should. Hey, Vermilion River, with the question, is Blazor growing in popularity in the States? Because in the UK, you barely see any Blazor jobs. It's picking up at enterprises, to be sure. There's a huge foothold that React has in this space. So getting folks to change over to Blazor, a little bit difficult. I was talking to a customer last week who is using Blazor extensively for their content. I talked to a customer the week before who's using a lot of Blazor. So they're out there. It's growing. It's certainly not as big as the JavaScript frameworks right now, here in June 2024. But it is growing, yes. So we've seen, I can share, we've seen governments of various sizes, local governments, state, provincial governments, and federal governments of various countries, states, localities, adopt Blazor and use it extensively. There's somebody who's been in chat for a number of times that I think they said they work for the state of Michigan or the state of Minnesota, and they use Blazor for the Department of Motor Vehicles. You go to apply for a new driver's license or to get your car registration, and they that website that you go through is Blazor. So it's coming, right? These types of projects that the enterprises use, where they decide to change, that the enterprise decides to change over to a different framework, they don't happen that frequently. But when they do, they want something where they're going to get support for a long period of time. So they tend to stick to frameworks published by Microsoft or Oracle with the Java frameworks and so on and so forth, where they can get paid support. There is Enyophase. There is. You can go to the customer stories on. Well, now it's being rejected. Come back to that. Where was I? Customer stories. .NET customer stories. There you go. Customer showcase. There you go. Right? You want to see who's using Blazor? Sure. There you go. So there's 7 stories of large organizations, GE, some other consulting firm, using Blazor. So they're out there, they're growing. I don't think I'm stepping out of line if I say there are game studios that are using Blazor as well. So okay. So if I want to hide those, right, on the moderation hub, when it gets the data, I want to mark that. I'm going to mark that user as hidden. I don't think we're only tracking a count. So I should do it over here. So get filtered content. I think it's okay to go get the list of blocked users that are marked hidden. Right? Yep, get blocked users. Is that already doing the date filtering? Yeah. Okay. So that's a collection, but I don't want just that collection. I want where... come on, man. Where they're hidden and to array that, John. So now I have the list of hidden users. So let's bump that max count to 200. And we'll be able to also say here where... come on. Hidden users contains... any. H dot provider equals C dot. You're not gonna give me that autocomplete. Really? You're gonna autocomplete something that is completely... You're not giving me the autocomplete. Feels bad, man. It's a where clause. Like, you know how to do that. Why are you... Because that 200 needs to be here. That's why. That's why. There we go. That's the moderation action. That's the content provider. So where the provider matches and... Ooh, it's behind me. H... username equals C, item 1, author, username. And we want a not on that. Take 100. Try it again. In the online video tutorials that have been released over the years. I just released another Blazor series in April. So, like, Jimmy Engstrom just released a series on Dome Train. There's a course there. So, what scenarios can you use server-side rendering for? Many. I use server-side rendering as much as possible. So here it is. It hit my breakpoint. So it has 100 in there. Use the new IEnumerable visualizer. Come on. So we shouldn't see... Nope, there's stream elements. Hidden users has 1 on it. There it is. Okay, the username is @streamelements. And if we look at the visualizer on this, there's the display name, there's the username. We should do a text insensitive comparison. Right? Should do the same thing here. Invariant culture, ignore case. Same thing on this one. Equals... yeah. Invariant culture, ignore case, and paren. Go do that again. Rats. You're converting an HTML JavaScript Bootstrap themed you paid $50 for into a Blazor SSR. Nice. Carl Franklin has his Blazor train videos as well. Yep. Don't use SSR globally? No. Prefer SSR. prefer it, don't use the interactive server or interactive WebAssembly globally. I avoid using those globally. Aspirify.net and the C# in the cards websites are both SSR. So let's take a look. Here's my results. View. We should not see stream elements in this collection. Yeah, I think we're good. So we still need to modify when the notifications come. Yeah, it's gone. We still need to update so when new messages are notified, that those don't come through. And we also I don't think we even need. Hang on, over here. Notify new content. If moderation is enabled, it notifies with new waterfall message. On the moderation service. Otherwise, it sends it to everybody. But it's going to be rejected as new messages are being loaded in here. Yeah, when moderate happens, notify rejected content. And see, it even says remove message. And that's for front-end user interface. Actually, and then moderation service. Yeah, new rejected message. So I think, what do we have on that content model? I don't think, is that being saved? I think that's... That's on the Blazor client. It's in view models. No, it's not being saved. So I think we can add... I think we can add a block capabilities field to this. But how do we know? Right? Somewhere up in here it's looking and saying, oh, that's a blocked user. Right, that's the moderation actually taking place. See, it's been so long since I've done this, I forget the model. Okay, messages arrive and they go through a messaging service. We get filtered content from each one of them, and then it passes them off. Right, here's the messaging service. No, that's not it. I do use the this keyword for a little bit easier reading. Yes. Content publisher. Is this the only... Can't be. Can't be. Okay. Right. Yeah, it's a messaging service. But there's a Postgres messaging service. But I'm trying to remember where it actually says, oh, this is a blocked user. Reject it. Yeah, I don't remember where that happens. Moderation repository has the reject method. Yeah. Well, you moderate and moderate with reason. Actually, Azure Safety. So moderate is called in two different places. Set status in the moderation hub. Okay. Man, I can't remember how this works at all. We have the SignalR notifier. The in-memory messaging service is what is... Yeah, and when this starts... up in here... Yeah, it goes and starts all the providers. But we're in Postgres, so I'm not in memory. I'm over here. Which starts the Postgres messaging service. Okay. Sets up the hashtag to watch. Subscribe to content, so as they publish, hey, I've got new content. Notify new messages. goes and says, hey, I've got content. Which is an iNotify. So there's the SignalR notifier. And there's somewhere in this stack that it keeps in memory a collection of here's the blocked users, and it, as it gets the message, it automatically rejects it. Right? That's, yeah. It puts in the SignalR notifier. Okay. I don't see it. Blocked users Razor Moderation Hub. That's the one we just added. Moderation Repository. Yeah. And there it is, getting blocked users on 182 and 205, and then the Azure Safety Moderation. There it is, setting the cache. So it is in this repository. Okay. And it pulls it out of cache. So where else are you used, my little friend? Because it gets it somewhere. Okay, Azure Content Safety, get or create if the user is blocked. Moderate with reason. Okay, and then it does the Azure Content Safety. So this is added where? Right there. So there's a cascade down. This is, oh boy, this is the pipeline. All right. All right. So if the user is blocked, it moderates with a blocked user reason and then notifies of that content. We need to change this now. We need to change this now so that it's not just notify of that new content that has been moderated, but don't notify if it's been hidden. So, and right now it's a list. Oh boy. The cache entry is a list of providers and usernames. We should expand that cache. Where is it setting it? In two places. There and there. Update blocked user. Yeah, that's a good name. I like that name. I like that name. Okay. Where was the other place that it was doing it? Cool. So I've refactored it a little bit. But back over here, instead of setting it with a list of provider username in this tuple, right, blocked user also has the capability on it. Yeah. So we can say u dot capabilities, which will have a value, because I force a default of moderated. Yes, I'm still working here. I needed to save that. All right, back over to the other side then, where we get it. It also sets it in here. It reloads it and sets it. Fine. Actually, I could do the same pass in on that. Right, this is moderation repository, which we have right there. So I could make this internal. Right? I'm working here. I'm working here. Right, so I could say moderation repository. Yeah, internal. Oh, that's an I moderation repository. Crumbs. Because it went and got it like that. I'll cheat. No. No, Thank you. There we go. Sure, I'll question mark that. So that should take care of that. Yeah, I'm still working here, friend. So now we go get it. There. Blocked user capabilities. Okay, so now I have that information. So that's a Boolean that it's returning. I don't want to return a Boolean. Let's change this to first or default. Because that changed it to one of these. It's a value tuple, so so if string is null or empty is blocked, provider, and we'll put a not on that. Okay, so we actually have somebody. If is blocked capabilities does not equal hidden, notify. I think that did it. You found a couple short guides on how to wrap a JavaScript library with JS interop. Not a great idea long term, but it works. It is a bit of a big waste of time. Yes. Like, you don't need to wrap a lot of it. Blazor does a lot of server interactive stuff that SSR won't work with. You switch to Aspire for private projects, although those are not microservices. You like ditching Docker Compose. Totally agree. In the class that I'm teaching in about an hour now, one of the things that I want folks to see is, and that we're going to push a little bit on here is, you want to start using Aspire for all web applications because of the reporting and reliability and the ease of expanding your website's ecosystem becomes much easier when you start using Aspire by default. You'll see more of that when we get into it. So that looks good. It looks like it's removed all the things. I'm waiting to see the Stream Elements bot pop up there and make sure that it doesn't show up on the screen here. Let me see. I want... Just taking a look. Responding to someone. There we go. So I think we have that cleaned up. I'm going to create an issue for fixing the slowdown there on those. Because that really bugs me. This is something that I think we need to do as a moderation feature, and it's something that is mentioned elsewhere. There's something. It's something about words. No. It's one of the first issues about being able to say, hey, block certain words. I want to do that feedback buttons too. Certain terms, right there, 307. So, and the example scenario for this is during .NET Conf, we had so much traffic coming in on the .NET Conf hashtag that folks started promoting their OnlyFans on that hashtag. So block OnlyFans. That's not something that is appropriate to be included. And it didn't make it past moderators at all, but it was something that we wanted to be able to, to block and ignore. So I think this is something, and I need to do this as well. So I think I have that fixed. I'm letting it run to see if we get some of those other messages. But for right now, I think first pass at adding block user capabilities. I can push that, let it build. What if it says C# only fans? Tried on Radzen Blazor Studio to quickly mock up back end. Works very well, not just with Radzen components. Yeah. The visual editors, folks are diving in and building, and it's really cool stuff. Yeah. That's about all I'm going to say about that. It's really cool stuff. I totally agree. So that's going to build, and it should build. Right, the first pass build runs in like a minute. So we should be pretty good on that. I'm just about out of time here. So I'm thinking I will wrap this up here. Auto-ignore phrases and links is something that I would want to drop into the safety moderation here, but I feel like I've now entered a place where I really need this to be a pipeline, an extensible pipeline of message processing, where we're going to analyze the list of users that are currently blocked and decide what moderation to take. We're going to analyze the content of the message and decide what action to take. And then we're going to let Azure content safety moderation take a look at what's left after that and decide what action to take. So I think there's a refactoring coming for these iNotify messages types out here, so that, right, this is implemented and it reaches, yeah, it's being passed in iNotify, and it's being passed in this one, which I think is the Signal R1. So, right, I've got this whispered down the lane, and quite frankly, I'm going to end up inserting into there a service bus notifier, because this is going to be running on another service, on another web service, and as it gets messages, it's going to hand stuff off for inspection, and that could be running on another service. Go through that pipeline of inspection, and when it's done and it's updated the database, notify this message is ready and put it on the service bus to be picked up by the website and displayed. So that refactoring, I think, is very much in the cards for next time. There we go. Built properly. And you know what? I don't see it appearing. I didn't see a stream elements. I'll tell you what, let's block me. There we go. And if I go back to moderation, right? That should not come through. Didn't come through. And if I go and unblock me, back over to moderation, because it was moderated at that time, so it did moderate and block the message, it also hid it, so it kind of stacks it. And now that message does come through and isn't moderated. Ship it. Pull requests. Merge that, John. Ready? Squash and merge it. Fantastic. What happens if a past message was approved? Then it'll show up after their hide has been turned off. So, but if a past message was... Yeah, messages that came in while the person was blocked are marked as rejected. If they've been marked as blocked with hidden capabilities, hey, 15 or 20, thank you. Those messages are all of their messages of all time are hidden. Period. It won't... No, it will remove them. So if you come through and reject and hide someone, it will remove their messages. Why did that fail now? .NET format on. Restore operation failed. So it's on code formatting. I'm not gonna... None of the code formatting's working right now. But that did work. No, that's the Twitch app relay. There, that did build and deploy. Okay. Because this is in a repository. Actually, hang on. Yeah. There it is. And the code formatting should be working. It's not working over here. Okay. This is, I put it in a centralized repository that I own, but I don't want folks to see me owning and taking liberties with pushing content into main. I want people to see and experience that I behave and send pull requests into it the same way that you can as a potential contributor to the project. So it's something that is a good behavior that I want to ensure I encourage folks to check out. Hey, that's great, Napalm. Awesome. Glad to hear it. But I need to wrap things up for right now because I'm getting ready for today's Let's Learn .NET Aspire session that I'll be teaching over on the Visual Studio channel on Twitch, on the .NET channel on YouTube. So I hope you tune in. I hope you join me in about an hour. I'm taking some time here, refresh my beverage, get up, stretch, walk around, make sure everything's all ready to go for that. We're going to have a bunch of fun with this. Hey, Becky Buckler, hello. Yeah, that's coming up. We're going to be building, it's already built, but we're going to talk about and put into .NET Aspire a simple application that reads and presents weather data, weather forecast data, from the American National Weather Service. We're going to be looking at live data, connecting out and using their service, and when you rely on and use other services like that, sometimes weird things happen. And we're going to learn how the logging capabilities, the reliability capabilities, and the dashboard help out with connecting and analyzing all that. And as you start to break things up into services, you're going to see how Aspire makes that real easy for you to do and why it should be your choice when starting new applications, regardless of whether you have multiple services, multiple features, and we'll talk more about that in about an hour. All right, I hope to see you then. Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network that I can get you connected to that's doing something cool, something awesome for you to visit with before I start hosting that stream. And you know what? Somebody who's having just a chill stream like he does every morning. He's our new colleague. I'm going to get you joined over to the Bald Bearded Builder to hang out, and I'll be right back on the Visual Studio channel in about an hour on Twitch. I'll be on the .NET channel over on YouTube, all right? Have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope to see you then in about an hour. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.